A moment some of you might have been waiting for. The release of the marketplace in Flight Simulator 2024. Well, there's more. Let's roll the intro and then let's look at the details. So the marketplace is now available, right? And you can easily exit by pressing the marketplace button. And once you open it, you can either choose to search the catalog, but also have a look at what's available. On the top, you can see, say, kind of massively those version upgrades. And depending on the version upgrade you buy, you get more aircrafts, more airports, etc. But there's more, of course, because it's not only about those version upgrades. There's more, and that's below that. Right here you can see the aircraft, and if you press that one, it will filter out the aircrafts where you can still see those version upgrades. So likely Asobo wants to push those updates, so you buy them. But also the airport or the aircraft, which you can buy individually based on this. So it looks like that besides the full version, you can also buy these aircraft individually. It's a little bit hard for me to test out because I've got the Premium Deluxe version. But as you can see, you can press them and then you can say really go to them. In the airplane section, there's also a filter on the helicopter, and on the left side we see things like, okay, hey, I want things to show up which I'm not owning. Or hey, I want to see things which are only Flight Simulator 2024 compatible. Based on what I'm currently seeing in the marketplace, it looks like that the majority of the items is only Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. And this, I would say, indicates that in the near future we might also see some other things popping up here, which are, say, not entirely optimized. Although I would doubt that, because that could have some serious issues when using it. For example, some serious compatibility issues. Then also there's the bundles and packs, but currently there are not too many besides the updates which you get. So I'm quickly going to unselect them. And you also have multiple other filters, like you can filter on the type, you can filter on the creator, on the ratings, and much more, also on price if you want. And if you are, say, lost, you can always press the reset filter option over here. So to go back, you can press the home option, which will allow us to either press one of the other options, or we can scroll down. And for now, we're going to scroll down where we will find the trending now and the top rated. So the trending now is currently only containing this Beechcraft Baron G58, likely because one person put a vote on it. So let's try to vote up another item. And we see the top rated ones. And the top rated ones are the ones which are the version upgrades again. Where if you click on it, you will see the other things in this top rated, which means the ones which have received the highest score based on the feedback you and me have provided. Now going back one level, you will see that this is really the end, right? And that's, say, kind of confusing. At least that's from my point of view. So what you need to do is, if you want to, for example, see other things, is you need to press the options over here. I would say I liked the previous navigation where you could scroll a little bit more, like Flight Simulator 2020. But as you can see, it's currently, I would say, not available here. So you need to press those options. And then hopefully it will show up some items, although I'm doubting if it will show some more items. And that brings us to this one, because I pressed the world, right? There was nothing in the other section. And today it's the time for world update number, what is it? 19 already. It takes place in Brazil, French Guyana, Guinea, and Suriname, and you can simply press get free. And for those who are playing it on Flight Simulator 2024, there's of course much of nice things, right? Because if you see the download speed, right, the acquisition processing goes really well. But based on at least what I understood, is that the download which was previously required for Flight Simulator 2020 isn't that hard required anymore in Flight Simulator 2024, because it's cloud-based, as we all know. Based on that, right, you can simply go to the My Library and then you can continue. But that's for later on, because we are not going into this one before we finish our tour in the marketplace. So let me hit the airports once again. Well, it looks like nothing is in there. maybe hit activities. Also not. So you can see that although they released the marketplace, it looks like it's, well, I'd say kind of broken. It's a little bit in line with what you see in Flight Simulator 2024, where not everything is working. But hey, likely they will fix it, and hopefully they will release more stuff to Flight Simulator 2024 as part of this marketplace. That's where we end the marketplace, right? Because we're also going to have a look at, of course, the world update. The world update, right? I already bought it, and I would say that is interesting, right? We can search for the world update here, right? So we can search for world. If I typed correctly, of course, world update, and then we space, of course, else we will won't find it. It's removing the space. Nice. This is another bug in Flight Simulator 2024. So you just faced another bug in Flight Simulator 2024. But let's leave it for now. Let's scroll. I use the scroll button. And that's where you will find this package, right? So if you click this item open, you can see that all these packages are streamed. And this also gives us some information, right? So these are the discovery flights. So it's, in this case, it's Paramaribo. Then we see some other scenery enhancements, like some new airport or updated airports, the Santos Dumont Airport, the Santarém Airport, the Zorg and Hope Airport, Quito International Airport. Then we got 3D photogrammetry cities in Brazil. Then we've got another airport, Fernando de Noronha, and then another few discovery flights, such as the Sao Paulo, Microsoft, the Parque Nacional dos Lenços Maranhenses, not sure if I pronounced correctly. Then we've got the St. Lawrence do Moroni Airport, the Qataros International Airport, and the South America East Point of Interest. Everything is streamed, as you can see, right? You can still disable it, so if you don't like it, you can disable it. Currently, there are not too many more options besides open on the marketplace page, which will likely not show you many things than this. So that's, I would say, pretty interesting. And once you've enabled them, you can, of course, go to Flight Simulator and start playing this, because hey, the scenery has been updated, right? So if you would click on free flight, and if you would move into the area that's over here, you can see that some new things have been added likely. Previously in Flight Simulator 2024, you could see it, or 2020, you saw it, or you could see it much easier, right? Because there was that nice, let's say, information where it also showed that if things were new. And based on this, you can see that, let's say, there might be some new things, but let me zoom in. Is there more? Suriname is over here somewhere. Always bad at geography, right? So let's search for it. It's of course Paramaribo is. So it's over here. Was on the wrong spot, almost good. But here you can see this is one of the airports which received an update, right? And you can see that, I would say, and I don't like this because previously you could really easily see if you had, let's say, a new item on the map. And it looks like that they released this, I would say, kind of pattern, which makes it for you much harder to figure out what's new. But of course, there's some good news because there's likely a release note list. So let's jump to that. And here we've got that list, right? It's the full list where you also see some preview videos. They mention about the area where it takes place, right? So well, that's nice. You can also see some other things. So Bing Maps has been used as well as Vexel to create this update, which results in featuring sites ranging from vast dune fields to bustling metropolises. And also we've got, of course, the imagery, which has been updated based on satellite images and aerial photographs. The digital elevation model, which means, let's say, the mountains, etc., right, which are updated, and the digital terrain model have also been added to this. So if we look at this, we can see that it contains 75 points of interest, right, including Fort Diamond in French Guyana, Mont Romera in Guyana and Brazil, and Fort Zeelandia in Suriname, and Jesus Christ Redeemer statue of Rio de Janeiro. It was already there, right, but it has been updated. Based on this, we can also see that it includes 4 tin cities, which means that they have been massively upgraded. Brasilia, Ouro Preto, Rio de Janeiro, and Sao Paulo, which is really good. And then we've got those 7 airports, which we already discussed, right? So this is the list of airports, including Brazil's Foz de Guiana International Airport, Charles Bravo, Foxtrot India, Fernando de Noronha Airport, Charles Bravo, Foxtrot November, Santos Dumont, Charles Bravo, Romeo Juliet, and Centrum Maestro Wilson Fonseca International Airport, Charles Bravo, Sierra November, and the last 2, or are they 3? Well, 2, Guyana Squitor International Airport, Sierra Yankee Kilo Alpha, and Suriname's Zorg and Hope Airport, Sierra Mike Zulu Oscar, and the last one, because I did not select this one, French Guiana's Saint Laurent du Maroni, Sierra Oscar Mike. But there's more, right? It includes the 3 discovery flights, as we already saw, but it also includes 3 landing challenges for you to test. So you can, let's say, test your landing skills at Brazil's Santo Dumont Airport with a short runway. But you can also select the Fernando de Noronha Airport in a strong wind challenge and the Brazil Sao Paulo Guanjas Airport located in the heart of Sao Paulo's metropolis. Then there are 3 bush trips, which are also available for you. Discover Brazil is one of them, which traces a route inland of Sao Paulo to Brazil's capital, Brasilia. Then we've got Guyana, Suriname, which will bring you from Guyana to Suriname and then onto the French Guiana, and it will expose a lot of nice cities. And we've got the Amazon tour, which follows the Amazon River. And here you can also see some screenshots, so that's really cool. But there's more. So they also added, and I think it's the first time, a helicopter landing challenge at Miranda Dona Marta, which is nice. And they also added a rally race to Rio de Janeiro in an FA-18, as well as the low altitude challenge in an L-39 through the Serra de Corvo Branco. It's, I would say, a rocked mountain range in southern Brazil. So how to visit those items? Well, for that we of course need to go back to Flight Simulator. And in Flight Simulator you will find a lot of options. And most of these options can be found in the activities menu, right? If we go to the activities menu, we can go to the landing challenges, where we likely will find those items. It might be a little bit hard because it's a, well, as you can already guess, there's no new markers here, which is also, it's a down point compared to Flight Simulator 2020, where you could easily see this. So likely we need to, let's say, search for these items over here and try to figure out which ones are updated. I do think that this one is new, but it's kind of hard to say, right? Then we've got the epic ones with all the new items, but also here it's impossible to see, and they also screwed up something because you could see that some of the text over here is really, let's say, not well being displayed. In strong wind there was definitely one, so let's see if this one can be here. This one, the Fernando de Noronha, and here you can also see there's no new markers anymore. So I would say a minus point, right? Because you can't see those new items that easy as previously. Then if we go to the discovery flights, we will find also likely new videos, or not new videos, I'm recording a video, but not new videos. Likely we will find those new items also here, which are the routes or the discovery flights available in Flight Simulator 2024 based on this new package which has been released. So let me scroll slowly to it and see if I can spot them. Here we've got Rio de Janeiro. I think this one is new. Paramaribo, that one is new. Then scrolling further to the top. Do we see it? Do we see it? I don't see it yet. Well, I don't see it anymore. No, I can't see. I can't find it. Well, there should be one additional one in this list. And also for this one, right, what I liked in the previous version of Flight Simulator is that you could filter on, for example, specific world updates. And it looks like that they removed that part completely, which is, I would say, kind of a pity. Is there something new in the custom content? No, of course not. But however, you can now also go to the marketplace. So some interesting items have been added, right, based on the release notes of the marketplace, as you can see. But there's more, right? I already mentioned there's more. And in this case, it's the local legend number 20, the CAP-4 Paulistinha. It's a nice aircraft. It was, I would say, in 1931, in the heart of the golden age of flights. 3 Brazilian-based aviator pioneers founded the company, and then they started to build an aircraft. So it's a nice small aircraft, right? And it took the EA201 design and added more powerful engine to create a CAP-4 Paulistinha. So the CAP-4 retained the meaningful traits of the error EA-G201 and more powerful. So a lot of cool things. You can see it's a pretty, I would say, simple aircraft, right? Simple, I would say, cockpit, etc. But it still is cool. Now this is the, I think, the second free aircraft, right? And it comes with 6 liveries. So it comes with these liveries. Not gonna, I would say, call them out every single one of them. And it's one of the 4 aircraft the team promised to Flight Simulator 2024 consumers as a make good because of the Flight Simulator 2024 issues. So for those who are using Flight Simulator 2024, you can already get it. For those who want to, let's say, buy it, you can also do it because it's, let's say, also possible. And it's a little bit unclear if it's also available for Flight Simulator 2020, right? It looks like, but not 100% sure about that. Although it's, yeah, so it's both available on 2020 and 2024. So for 2020, you need to pay. For 2024, it's included. So let's have a look at that one. For that one, we likely need to go to the free flight menu, and inside the free flight menu, you can select the aircraft which you want to use, and then we can scroll a lot, and we find this one over here, because this is the aircraft, and then we can press configure. Right in the configure menu, you can configure the aircraft, you can choose the variant, although I do think that only one variant is available in this one. Yes, because else we could select more. There are liveries, and these are the different liveries which they called out in their video. So you can see a little bit more yellow one, the blue one, with the different, I would say, call signs, right? So that's pretty nice. And in the future, you'll likely have an option to buy more. Then from view and payload perspective, you can, let's say, select the manage view and of course the total mass, which can be changed. Manage view, really easy by using the menu scroll down or menu scroll up option to either add view or remove view. And over here we can manage the balance of the aircraft, which includes setting the seats, the view, and also the empty weight. You can see that the, I would say, aircraft has 2 tanks, the upper tank and the lower tank, which are both in the center of the aircraft. Then you've got, let's say, 2 passengers spot in the aircraft. Then of course we've got the identification, but there's nothing special there. So let's put it somewhere and then let's have a look, right? Let's have a look at the aircraft. So we're gonna select this one and then we're gonna go to Paramaribo. Oh. This one, we're gonna zoom in, and once we zoomed in, zoom further in, we can place it at, say, this one, right? So it's departure and then say start flight now. As you can see, right, this part has been, let's say, modeled, let's say, more detailed compared to the part around the airport, but it's kind of expected. So let's see how long it takes before it loads. At least place the aircraft already on its position, pretty close to the runway 29. There are also some heli ports over here, as you can see, although my mouse cursor has now disappeared. So it's still loading all the scenery. And that's always the question, right? How has this improved? Because we all know that initially with Flight Simulator 2020, when a new world update was released, I would say the loading times were crazy long and sometimes the quality was also not that good. So we're over here, right, with the aircraft. You can see that the pilot already is standing outside, which is cool. But let's have a look, right? How can we, would say, have a look at the aircraft? So let me see if I can show it to you. Of course I can. Let's press the ready to fly option. So here we've got the aircraft, right? So the aircraft, as you can see, it's really detailed, right? So there are a lot of details, including here that I would say small, iron cable. I'm not sure it's iron. And I can see a lot of, I would say, things like I can say change the elevator, right? I can do some testing, also do that for the rudder, where you can see it really looks detailed. Also, if we move it, you can see that it also changes the color from here. Then, of course, we have the wings, right? The wings, you can also fully test them, right? You can say, go to them and then hopefully also test it. Yeah, if you are getting close enough, you can see it. And here you can also see this usage over here, which is really nice. And if you move it back, right, that's really cool. If we move to the front, right, we've got those, I would say, kind of covers which you need to remove always. The pitot cover, you can see that here's the pitot de Prago de Voir is over here. And if we come very close, we can walk to the aircraft, which is always interesting. I was hoping that you can also open this one, but it looks like that this one can't be opened, right? So there's, let's say, a limitation of what the things you can, I would say, interact with. On this part, we can interact with the wheels, right? We can check the wheels themselves over here. And here you can see that, let's say, yeah, almost don't want to say, but here there are some issues, as you can see over here. Then we've got the propeller, which is again nicely modeled. If you're coming very close, you can see a lot of detail also in the wood. But also on this part, right, you can see some usage, which is always pretty nice. On the other side, same thing, right? You can see that I would say this part shouldn't be that way because you now can't see if you really check the wheels. So there are some small bugs in this aircraft, which is a pity, of course. Is there more which we can do? Well, let's try to get inside the aircraft, right? There's always a shortcut for you if you don't want to do this, right? You can press the Shift and the C from Charlie, and then you can move inside the aircraft, which makes it nice. This is also not very nice, right? It won't allow us to go inside the aircraft. Let me see, because I would have expected that I could move inside the aircraft. And also press the Shift C, right? So not sure what's this, right? So, oh, here it is. So we can open the door. So let's move away and then it will bring us in. And then we, of course, can, close the door, right? You can see that we can move it. Pretty nice, and it will lock down. So this is inside the aircraft, where you can also see that there's a lot of time spent on the detail for the interior, right? You can see some, switch over here, which makes it interesting because how can you come there? But likely the pilot needs to sit over here, which also makes sense that the door can be opened or closed over there. So what do we see else in the aircraft? Well, if we look over here, we can see the pitch trim is over on this side. We can see the carb heat and the mixture is on the left side, and we can manipulate the throttling. As you can see, I can also move the, let's say, kind of yoke, although I would almost not call it a yoke in this case. And there's a small button over here. And if we look over here, we can see some instruments, right? We can see the RPMs, we can see the speed of the aircraft, and also some other instruments like the radio tune. We can see the transponder, we can see the climb rate, the vertical speed, we can see the temperature. Here we can see the pressure, and here we can see the altitude with some small knobs which allow you to, say, manipulate these devices. And in the center there's the compass, right, which will move around now, which is cool. On the bottom, we've of course have those brakes, which don't have any, I would say, labels on it. And here we say it says propeller, so we can say press it one, and then you will start the aircraft. The difficult thing is always challenge, is that the aircraft will directly start to drive. So if you press this option, then you will spin the, let's say, rotor or spin the propeller. So now the door is also opened, also really nice. Let's close it again. And let's see if we can, let's say, move these buttons, right? So here you can see that some of these buttons they are pretty hard to handle, right? Because you would really need to move more closer. And here you can see the avionics master switch to on, right? You can see the other things like the battery on. These other buttons are not really working, as you can see. So you can only move these buttons from this part of the aircraft. So going back, right, we can see that some things are happening or not. No, not yet. So let's go to the different menus, right? So we can see that it comes with, let's say, some default cameras. So the shift 1 brings you to the altitude, the shift 2 to the pitch trim, then 3 to this view, shift 4 to the fuel selector, shift 5 more close to the, I would say, speed as well as the radio and the transponder. And then shift 5 brings us to this position. Shift 6, also pretty interesting. This likely has to do with the engine, right? Because you can see the magnetos over here. And then we're going back to the further in the aircraft, and then likely moving to the, well, I'm not sure if it's the pilot or co-pilot, but really back to the air at the end of the aircraft, right? So pretty nice views, which you can do. As you can see, I'm going really quickly to them. So you can, I would say, choose your position wisely, I would say. So this one, I would say, could be one of the options you select. Now, that's that, right? So what's more included with this aircraft? Well, there's more. There's, of course, the electronic flight bag, where you can change these, I would say, items, right? You can change the pilot and the co-pilot weight. You can adjust the view, as you can see, and also change the center of gravity if you prefer to do that. But you can also press the reset config, which will bring it back in normal mode. But there's more, right? There's the settings for Flight Simulator, which were already there. But I was hoping that I also would be able to find, for example, some more things like, for example, the checklist. Right, let's have a look at it. Am I missing something, or probably I'm overlooking something? Flight planner. No, that's the flight planner itself. No, it's not there, right? So I was kind of surprised. Pilot book, the aircraft. No, it's not there. So that's a pity, right? I was hoping that you also would have a checklist where you could easily, let's say, check which steps you need to perform. So does it really come without a checklist? I almost can't. No, see, I missed it. It's on this page. It's on the aircraft page, where you can go to the checklist, which contains the default menus, right? Standard, advanced, expert. Although in most aircraft you won't see a lot of differences. With those big airliners you might see differences, but not with these kind of aircrafts. And as you can see, you can quickly move over to those options, which will make it easier to navigate the aircraft. And as you can see, not all of them are working, so be aware of that. Although this one is the view switcher over here, I do think, yeah. So that's pretty nice, right? So you can see that if you are new to the aircraft, you can probably easily learn this aircraft really easy, because all the things are there. Highlighting options, as you can see. So pretty nice one. So in a future video, we will likely have a flight with this aircraft. But for now, we will end this video over here, where we simply looked at this nice aircraft, right? It's the new one. It's the new between brackets and the second, I'll say almost, I would say, and the second free version of the aircraft, which was promised by Asobo and Microsoft due to the beta release of Flight Simulator 2024. So it's kind of, I would say, to make everything or people more happy, although I do think that people would love them to, say, spend more time on fixing issues compared to releasing new aircrafts. Although new aircrafts can also be really, really nice. Again, here ends this video. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, then make sure to hit the like button and make sure that you have a look at my channel, because there are more videos about Flight Simulator 2024. And also I will post regular videos, mostly on a weekly basis, about new stuff coming to the marketplace, but also about some new things in Flight Simulator which I discovered. Thanks for watching, and see you back next time.